Loungtastic. Lounge it up. Relax. To hear what others think of the show, head over to Facebook.com, official Loungtastic. To follow us on social media, head over to Loungtastic.com to see our social media links. And for more about the shows as they air, and to see bonus episodes, become a premium member over at Patreon.com/Loungtastic. That's Patreon.com/Loungtastic. Welcome back. Thank you for listening to us, and thank you for subscribing. If you're following us on SoundCloud, awesome. Thank you. This is podcast number 18, because 18 is when Mo lost his virginity.
That is exactly it. This is our virginity-losing broadcast. Talking all about virginities today.
I literally lost mine when I was 21.
Good for you, dude.
I don't know why I waited so long.
Yeah, no, a lot of people waited. A lot of my friends waited until college.
Yeah.
And then, bang, when they got to college, it was like they didn't not have sex for 19 years.
Wow.
So, a lot of them were girls, though, so it was their choice.
So to continue on, Below Deck here, this is a 10th episode, so they're wrapping it up. It's either going to be the next episode or very shortly thereafter. Yeah,
maybe, who knows, maybe it drags on to 13 episodes.
They could.
We get all new charter guests. The charter guests from the last week are all gone with the Cradle Robbers. They're done with their charter cruise, and now we get a nice restaurateur charter full of people that are going to give poor old Matt a good run for his money.
Yeah, and when you run a restaurant, you know the ins and outs of everything, and you know about sending food back and complaining.
How to be really annoying.
Yeah, and I don't know if they dug down into their bag of customers that complained in a nasty way, but this one woman on the end of the table was like, wah.
Why would we have fish twice in one day?
You know, I really think it falls on the preference sheet because, first and foremost, tell them what you want. You're restaurateurs. Tell them what you want. Tell them breakfast, lunch, dinner. I don't care. You can be as specific as you want to be. You're restaurateurs. It's your fault that things didn't go as planned. They give you a preference.
Next time she goes on a charter, she should put preference. Not the same animal twice in one day.
Not the same of the animal species to be repeated 3 times in one day.
I want my animal... I want to do like a food chain thing. So I want to do the thing, and then the thing that eats it, and then the thing that eats it for dinner.
And I want to be the shark. I'm glad they got that shot of
Nico and Brianna stepping out of the sea
with a wet ass.
Yeah, it looks like a fucking Chainsmokers music video.
Definitely.
Dude, oh man! Like when I was younger, I used to listen to the pop station. That's around here. We have 2 like popular pop stations, 96 and 103.5.
Right.
And I used to listen to those all the time, and I'd have no problem, and I'd listen to Katy Perry, and I'd listen to Taylor Swift and whatever else was on there.
Yeah.
But now I don't listen to that stuff anymore. When I listen to the radio, I'm usually listening to like classic rock and roll or classical music or jazz and blues and stuff.
Yeah.
But whenever I am down for a sort of head trip, I put on those stations. I put on the pop stations. And I listen to all the music that's encouraging people to run away from their parents' houses.
Music is saving. I'm not a very spiritual person, but music really does have the ability to change your attitude.
Definitely, man.
You could be in the worst down mood, throw on some Buddy Guy.
Oh, dude, I love Buddy Guy. Please don't leave me.
And you're instantly transformed.
Definitely. Well, I'm glad Josh didn't have too long of a run on the boat, because who knows? EJ would have ate his ass alive eventually.
He would have ate his ass right in front of everybody.
He would have put him down on the crew mess table, served him with a side of...
Too much. I started it.
Uncomfortable with
I started it. So we see the departure of Josh here, and I'm glad that they had some family interaction, because they both lost a brother. It's sad. It's terrible. But the interaction helped out Nico.
Yeah, definitely got Nico into a better place. Who knows? He was feeling very down, so having family around must have helped his mood.
I thought it was funny how Nico climbed into bed with dirty-ass feet just to spite EJ. It's like, oh yeah, motherfucker? Well, I'm going to bed without cleaning my feet. How about that?
Have fun sleeping in your own garbage until you change your covers.
I mean, the smells. I like waking up and like not smelling weird things.
I like having clean feet.
yeah. I mean, and plus you gotta use those. I don't know if the girls can clean your sheets mid-charter like that with all the load that they have. They have to do all the captain's clothes and the guest clothes and the uniforms they wear. I don't think they could just throw in a set of sheets.
Everybody's sheets because everyone listened to Josh and no one washed their feet.
That was funny because EJ was like, Baker, wash your feet. And she's like, fuck off. And it's like, Nico number 2, wash your feet. Bro, your feet were dirty.
Your feet were dirty in the past. What are you hating on my dirty feet for?
Yeah. It's like that was quite a strange way to come back at him. Like, well, your feet were dirty. Yeah, like you just said.
Why are you telling me to wash your feet when your feet are clean? Something stupid, like nonsensical. He just wants to spite the guy that his brother is beefing with.
Exactly.
He just wants to be the guy like giving mean face to the guy his brother is having an altercation with.
So this part got me here. I was like, man, because we're ready for EJ to kick some butt, and Nico's finally looking like he's going back on the workforce, and he's doing his stuff. There's a lot less complaining. Nico's starting to have the acceptance of this guy as his boss, his bosun. And then EJ walks into the wheelhouse and says to the captain, guess what, Cap? The captain says, you're cutting yourself loose there, huh?
Well, Captain, I have to take 2 planes. I have to take one plane to Canada and just, drink some maple syrup and bring myself back to route, and then I have to take another plane to Fort Lauderdale. How many times did you say Fort Lauderdale in this episode, bro?
Oh yeah, the old Lauderlod.
Fort LT,
Southern Canada.
The founding place of the American Civil War.
I had some good times in Fort Lauderdale, but I can't get out of my head about that guy who played Russian roulette and said he was going to do a maths airport shooting and then just picked Fort Lauderdale and then knocked off a few senior citizens. I'm like, really? So what did that do for your cause? Nico's on the ship by himself, and he's, my arm.
Check the 10-minute mark.
For what?
9 to 11-minute mark.
For what? Oh, to remove it?
Gotta go.
Remove it? Okay, I'll remove it if you want me to. We'll listen to it again and see how it sounds.
It's just we just stopped talking about it. Yeah, we got into something, but we didn't get all the way around it.
Something happened before Nico injured himself here. Oh yeah, that was big. That they couldn't go out because it was. So Captain looks at the preference sheet and says, once again, well, there's absolutely nothing on here that I see of any interest that might cause a problem. They seem like straightforward restaurateurs.
None of them are going to probably try to have sex with any of our crew, which he was wrong. Bruno was approached very romantically by the primary charter
several times.
You know what's funny? The way is that he handled it.
Yeah.
Was that of a mature, like, sexually engaged person who has been in a situation like this in his life where he was just being hit on, being romantically pursued.
Right.
But one episode before, we see Jen in the same predicament, and she's like coming apart.
Yeah. And that same guest that assaulted her follows her to the kitchen.
Yeah, drunk.
She probably knows that she did wrong in some regard, but she didn't really
That's
display
just
it.
how Jen made her feel. Jen made her feel like she should feel bad because she was hitting on Jen.
Isn't it interesting the contrast of what you hear on liberal networks like we got to stop the sexual harassment, and then we hear Kate say, well, honey, you're just going to have to deal with it. You're going to have to learn how to deal with sexual harassment because it's a part of life. Ever since the caveman era, since there were men and women, men have a desire for women. Would you go out and like yell at a fucking bird?
Like, when you got to remember though, when people on political radio and political television talk about like cultural mindsets, like not getting down on workplace harassment, they're talking about very specific people. When they say the workplace, they're talking about the office.
Right.
They're talking about a company or an office space where 30, 40 people work, and stuff like that. That you got, they're like, oh no, no romantic involvement, none of that, none of this. But when you're on a $12 million yacht, it applies differently. These people are all their own brand of human. Like, these are rich people. When they grab your ass on a boat, that's just part of the job.
Yeah.
It's basically what I got out of it.
I don't know about international rules out there, but St. Martin is part of the Netherlands.
Is it?
Netherlands.
And those people are all
pretty
the way
liberal.
with it. Yeah.
Pretty liberal.
I just think it's natural occurrence for every country to have their own cultural standings about sexuality and stuff.
Yeah.
The United States is definitely in their Puritan ways of like.
Yeah, I don't like all the politically correct. People need their safe space.
Don't offend me.
Yeah.
Don't say anything that might offend me.
Do you think that word will catch on?
What?
Snowflakeism?
Snowflake.
I just came up with that. I don't know if I don't think I've ever seen it anywhere. Have you heard that before?
My friend Michael says pussification.
Pussycat Pie Factory.
Pussycat Pie Factory.
I
need you to go down to the Pussycat Pie Factory.
That was good.
And get me one of those
raspberry.
And get me one of those liberal arts majors.
So Nico was on the boat on the little tender by himself.
It's on a tender.
And he's like, oh, I bumped my arm. Oh, man.
What the hell? Were they looking for his Lucky Charms or something?
And and then Bruno jumped into the swan dive into the water.
I need you, Bruno. And Bruno's like, I am needed. And like,
this is what all the training was for.
Slow motion jumps into the water, like swims over to Nico.
And I don't know.
What did you need me for, Nico, my love?
Yeah. And Nico's like, I hit my funny bone.
Bruno, I need you, Bruno. And Bruno's like, I am needed. And jumps in the water and swims over to Nico and goes, Nico, what can I do for you? What did you need me for, my love? He's like, did you need the Ferrero Rocher? I keep some in my pocket.
Nico hops on the ship and he runs around like a chicken with his head cut off, and he's like, you know,
Captain, I can't feel my arm.
It's either a really bad bump or I have permanent nerve damage.
Permanent nerve fucking damage.
From what? Bumping your elbow? I was watching the video the second time around that I watched this episode just now, and there's a little glowing thing where we saw Nico, and it just looked like he hit his elbow on something. It didn't look like it was anything extravagant. Nico's not like an old man. He's like 29, 30 years old. So he should just be able to shake it off. It just shouldn't be a big issue.
It could be what if it was a bad bump? And like,
I mean, it could be a bad bump, but the odds are when you're that young,
he's just in pain and stuff like that. But yeah, I know what you're talking about. I know what you mean.
I'd love to see an NFL player watching this that has to take these kind of hits every 14 seconds, and just your elbow's going everywhere, your body's going everywhere, and they play on. They just play on, and I think Nico, maybe in this situation, maybe could have played on, unless he's got some kind of bone or neurological condition that I don't know about. Then I'll eat my own words.
I guess it seemed like he was just in pain, and
yeah.
I mean, if it was permanent nerve damage, he would have needed emergency surgery or something. Yeah. They would have needed to take some nerves from his ass and put them in his elbow.
Definitely.
And then we would have all called him Ass Elbow.
He would have had to like circle the face on there that ass elbow. He would have had the circle of face on there that says it was a worst pain. I remember one time I went to the ER and they had me circle. I was like, do I circle the one for worst pain or second worst pain? Is worst pain, they give me the morphine, and the second worst is like Percocet. And then I ended up just putting it down at third from the worst, and they're like, okay, here's a pillow. I was like, fuck.
Here's a pillow and an orange juice.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
It's like, can I recircle an option here?
Holy shit.
Like, they legally have to give you morphine if you circle the worst pain. The saddest
well,
face.
I always circle number 5 just to let you know that I don't really give a fuck.
So I'm all right. I'm like, this will be me when I'm halfway to recovery.
I walked in the ER like leaving a trail of blood.
Wow.
One time.
Did you?
And they're like, well, how bad is your pain? And I'm like, it's a 5. And they kept me in the waiting room for an hour and a half. Just bleeding, like putting like blood underneath my feet. It was crazy.
I've been there, yeah. They just don't care. I don't know what they're doing in there. And the doctor comes around. It's like, are you done with your fucking lunch, Dr. Spitz?
Well, I mean, and realistically, all I really needed was to be cleaned up and bandaged. But it was just too funny, like, that every step I took, I left a little bit of blood in their ER floor.
Damn.
My dad was like, why didn't you tell them you're in more pain? We would have gotten out of here faster.
Yeah, because no one wants to sit around.
I'm like, it's not that bad, Pops.
I've never told this story before, but one time I was at a party in South Dakota, and we were at this bonfire. Because what else are you going to do in South Dakota?
I was just about to say, you're in a party in South Dakota?
Yeah, and the only thing you can do is burn stuff. So we were burning this stuff, and it was on a pile of mud, and the fire was good. It was contained. Yeah. But every once in a while, I have a tendency with women. Like, I have a tendency to draw women. Like, most of the guys are like, duh, 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 and I'm like, yo, what's up? Hey, yo, what's up? You know, and this girl pulled up a stool next to me at the bonfire, and this is a true story. And they built the bonfire on mud, and everything was cool until she pulled up one of these bar stools, and she put it real close in, and she was leaning in to hear my story. I was telling some bullshit story about something.
Dude,
and she fell into the fucking bonfire, and her hands went right into it. Because, you know, you shield your face. You naturally do that. And this girl fell in, and I pulled her off. This was crazy, like, how this girl's trying to talk to me.
Thanks so much,
and she fell in. She was leaning into me, and the whole fucking stool and her just fell into the bonfire. So I pulled her off. And I was like, let's get some attention here. Let's get some medics. And they're like, no, we're not calling the cops because it's an alcohol-related incident. That's what the military calls it. So, because there are military members involved there. So, I frickin' just got a pan from the kitchen and put her hands in it in the cold water. Because there were burns on her hands.
Yeah.
And you could see where she had hit the fire. It's like her whole palms were all burned up.
Crying?
Yeah.
Definitely.
So the girl hosting the party said, "Yeah, I can't get trouble on here. I'm already in a tough situation, as it is, with some other discrepancy, noise complaint or something."
Definitely.
So, they gave her a pint of Jack Daniels, and she's sucking this Jack Daniels down, and and I'm asking her, and I'm like, "Are you sure you don't want an ambulance?" She's like, "No, we can't call it. We can't have."
She's part of it now.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
So she was drinking the Jack Daniels, and I asked her, I said, is that taking the pain away? And she looked at me and she said, yeah, I'm forgetting all about this shit.
Holy shit.
But,
what a story.
But, yeah, her hands were burned, and we were putting the shots into her mouth.
While her hands are
were in the
cold water.
In the deep pan that we had, in the cold water. And she was, like, taking it out and looking at it, and the skin was, like, falling off.
Oh, my goodness.
And I just remember... Kids out there, public service announcement. Don't hit on me. No, I'm just kidding. Don't ever put a bar stool next to a bonfire.
Yeah, don't ever lean next to a fire.
Yeah, I thought it was cool. She's leaning into my story because when people lean in, it's like, okay, they're enjoying the story and everything. But what the hell were you doing on a bar stool?
Oh my goodness.
And she healed up, and everything was cool after that. I don't think we talked much after that. It was just, hey, I called her, hey, you okay? Yeah, and I was leaving the base anyway after that. It was on base.
Oh, yeah.
So that's why it was an alcohol-related incident. Everyone was drinking, and We could have called an ambulance, but then it would have to be a report. And when you do reports, they have to take information and names and everything. It's just easier to put your hand in a pan
of cold water and suck down a pint of Jack Daniels.
She was drinking it strong too. I was like, wow, you could really hold your liquor.
Full of pain.
Yeah, she was good though. It was cool. We handled it. We handled it like cowboys in the Old West would have handled it.
No, most definitely. Hey, I was just telling you, bro. I was watching Westworld.
Yeah.
It's basically.
Is it on the Old West?
It's in the Old West. Yeah.
I just clicked on a clickbait about the Old West. It was how things really were in the West, and they showed real pictures. I was like, whoa, that's not like how it was on the movies.
What did you learn? You learned that most property owners in the Wild West were women?
And the women were loose back then.
Well, they were all prostitutes.
Yeah.
That was the only job they can get.
And they didn't look as pretty as they did in the movies.
That's all right, I guess.
It's like you're a woman, your job in the West is to have sex with men for money at the saloon, while the piano player's job is to play the piano. Your job is to go upstairs and accommodate the men.
Everybody had a job back then.
Yeah, it was simple. Back in a simpler time.
That's right.
Days of yore.
The days of your mama getting smashed in the saloon, boy.
Didn't say that. I really want to say that Jen's behavior is encouraged by the producers here to create some drama.
Yeah, she's a little too much for me.
That no episode. Person would be this much of an imbecile. Yeah, and she was just, and the disrespect. I made a comment during the show here that there's no respect of ranking or seniority towards Kate. It's Jen's just, it's me. I'm what's important. Nothing else matters. And Kate gives her instruction. And early on in the last episode, she's like, and then on this episode, she's given Kate like a little bit of acceptance, kind of like, Kay, like, Jen, could you make sure this is done? And when I come back, I don't want to see any laundry. Kay. And my immediate thought is going back to my days in the military. I sound like a fucking old man.
If you ever fucking K somebody in the military, you're gonna get K'd into the foot in your ass.
Yeah, you don't say K to an officer or your boss. You just, I mean, in the active duty, that could happen. You could just be like K or whatever, you know. But if that non-commissioned officer doesn't let you kind of just get away with that, you can be in some trouble because it can be insubordination.
I just was so bothered by Jen this episode.
Yeah.
Because every time now I hear Bruno complaining about the interior crew.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, oh my goodness, bro, these guys are hopeless. Everybody's had a problem with their coworkers underperforming, but when it's on national TV, it's easier to see.
So Bruno goes in and he's like, I will save you, and I will always love you, Nico. Yeah.
He goes to a St. Martin's hospital.
Yeah.
Where the secretary is probably like a 12-year-old.
Oh, God.
The doctor is probably also a 12-year-old.
15-year-old.
There you go. Doogie Howser, MD.
How may I help you?
But you're Neil Patrick Harris? Are you St. Martin's Neil Patrick Harris? They give him a cast and a bag full of painkillers, and they're like, that will be $17. In America, they give you a cast and a bag full of painkillers. Like, yeah. That'll be $3,000.
It's amazing that we weren't able geographically to purchase or to claim this area before they did, because Holland is so far away. The Netherlands is so far away, and yet they've got this land claimed for themselves.
Yeah, it was during the colonial era of...
and we're so close to fucking the U.S. Virgin Islands that we could have just taken their flag and just fucking threw it. Yeah. It's such a white person thing to say. And it'd been like, no, this is like Hawaii, yo. Like how the Anglo-Saxons just claimed a bunch of shit. Like, it's ours, 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 ours. And the Indians were like, well, hold on a second. The river and the trees and the bears and the bees belong to all of us. And we are to respect nature.
Deep.
And then the white man was like...
What the fuck are you talking about right now, dude?
The white man was like, hey, why don't we put a strip club here where this river used to be?
And the Indian was like, fuck yeah, dude.
How about we put a casino up? Hold on. We'll pay you. We'll put the casino up on land. We won't tax you, and you'll make all the benefit, all the profits go to you. Okay, now we are talking. Littlefoot, come over here.
Stop.
Big Bear, give him the deed.
Front door.
Yeah, Big Bear, you're in front. Talking snake.
Blackjack table.
I am talking snake. Please try to get to 21 and tip your
waitresses.
Yeah, tip your waitresses. I'll be here all week. But I need to work on my Indian impression.
Captain Lee starts looking at all of Nico's painkillers and he's like, these are fucking gazebos.
Gazebos. Placebos.
Yeah.
Captain Lee is like shifting the box around like, these are Lucky Charms.
They gave you fucking marshmallow bites.
And then,
alright, well, wow. If you're gonna go sit in your room for 2 days, then I guess it's what it takes.
Brianna is bringing him cuisine that Chef Matt made, a top-of-the-line yacht chef, and Brianna is in there getting her, like, flexing her hand for something, we're not sure why, to help Nico out with something, and then Captain walks in, and he says, well, if this is the kind of treatment you get with a bad arm, I wish I was in your same condition. What did he say?
Maybe I'll go bump my elbow.
He's got this girl, Brianna, solid. She's a solid. I give her a solid 9, and that's being generous.
I give her a Caesar salad.
I give her the D, and by D I mean dinner. See how I saved that one? Yo, man, I give that girl the D. All right, so they're meeting up with the guests.
The new guests, all the restaurateurs of Los Angeles.
There is a quick shot where I see Captain's hands in his pockets, and that irritated me. Not now, but there was a shot where they're waiting, and Captain Lee had his hands in his pockets, and I'm like, what the hell? In what industry is it okay to have your whites on and have your hands in your pockets? The pocket poolers, maybe.
Yeah, maybe he was just getting in some quick action before.
Sometimes you have to adjust the balls, and the only way to do it where nobody can see what you're doing.
His shirt was already tucked in, so he didn't want to mess up his shirt, so he just did it through his pocket.
Man. As elegant and as luxurious as the rooms look, it doesn't make up for the fact that they didn't leave the dock. It just doesn't. It doesn't cure the situation at this point, where they're like,
you go on a sailboat, you go on a sailing yacht, and you want to sail, and you find out that you're landlocked.
It's ridiculous.
Fuck, what are you gonna do?
It's like if you went to the Super Bowl and they're like, I'm sorry, we're at capacity, but we'll let you watch it on the screen outside.
What in the holy hell?
Like you have front row tickets to watch the Bears versus the Packers in the 2018 Super Bowl.
Never gonna happen.
Yeah, at this point.
They're in the same conference, but that's okay. Lawrence, you can keep trying the sports.
Lawrence on ESPN. This is my first day on ESPN. When they throw the football, it's a good idea for them to throw it to the receiver, because the receiver can catch it and then bring it to the touchdown area.
Right on, Lawrence. I never thought about it like that. You are exactly what this network needs.
And it's a good idea for them to run really, really fast, because there'll be a bunch of guys chasing him.
Now, we already knew that one, Lawrence. You're exactly what this company doesn't need.
Ba-ba-ba! Ba-ba-ba!
You're fired.
No! We'll be back after this commercial break. Welcome back, Mo. It's your first day on ESPN. Can you give us a play-by-play of how the Bears could actually win this game?
Well, you know what they have to do is they have to move the ball forward, not backwards, and they have to keep moving the ball.
So you got the football on the left side of the field.
You want to doing Bill Cosby too?
No, I was actually trying to do John Madden.
Oh, I was pretty sure I was dumb.
When you get back to the hotel, you want to make the cute Quaaludes just powdery enough so that she doesn't notice that there's a bubbly substance on the top of the drink. Put it in there, Jello. Put it in gelatin, but don't forget to let it sit in there for 4.5 hours. I turned into Captain Sandy all of a sudden. Could we get in trouble for saying that on a podcast? How to mix date rape into a gelatin?
I don't even want to say that anyways, because no matter how funny it is, we're not going to get any followers that way.
We got 141 followers right now. Nice. 141 people want to hear from you. Well, since we're following, 139 actual people want to hear from you. Mo, they demand to hear from you.
Where were we?
We're halfway done. Let me go back a little bit. There's a lot that happened here. I have a lot to say about the Hawaiian luau. Captain informs the guests that because of the wind conditions, they won't be able to set sail and cruise today. And looks like the primary is really upset. The guy who paid the 6 figures to go out there and do this.
He's like, what?
Yeah.
That's kind of the whole point, isn't it?
We're not launching off the dock? Then why don't I just stay at the hotel?
Why don't I just... Yeah, isn't that what you said? You're like, they might as well just go to a bar on the land.
Yeah. It's actually worse to stay on the ship because you have less room.
Yeah, lots of little space and shit.
I can't imagine you thinking it's luxurious to be in those tiny ass rooms for the price you paid.
Right. I would be super aggravated when I'd like every little thing would bother me. I'd be all, this is dumb, this is stupid.
Rightfully so.
He kind of points at Nico as like an example of what would happen if the boat was to leave the dock, and Nico looks like fucking Will Smith and iRobot right now, and the chick's like, yeah, I don't want to look like that. And the primary's like, Janice, shut up, this is my trip.
That's right. Yeah, that was such a weird thing for her to speak up. That's what I actually yelled at Muriel about the other day, because if you're speaking, if two adults are, I'm just kidding, if two people are speaking to each other and a third party jumps in at something that serious, you're not giving them, I don't know about the respect they deserve. You're not giving them a chance.
Just interjecting.
It's a wrongful interjection. She shouldn't have done it. It creates
regardless of what was going to happen, what the captain said was going to go. I don't think that if you complain enough, the captain will take you off the dock.
It depends
if he thinks it's dangerous.
Yeah. Maybe this whole thing was her idea too. Maybe that's why she piped up.
There you go.
Francine, do you have an opinion on this? How about that? How about if they would have asked her? Does anybody have an opinion on this? Do we want to cancel it now? I thought it was.
Yeah, right. They should just ask for the refund.
Yeah. They're all packed. They're all ready. Especially since he said, "What about tomorrow?" And Captain Lee's like, "Don't have that yet."
They end up getting off the boat. They end up going on the beach like they wanted to. They wanted a private beach thing, and they did that.
Well, it's gonna come up soon here, but I think it's just cool. Wouldn't it be cool to tell all your friends, like, "Hey, I'll be booking this yacht. It's gonna be sweet. We're gonna be on the frickin' Caribbean for a couple days on our own ship."
I would literally bring maybe 2 people. You and
Baker for a second.
I don't know.
You have to pick someone. Obviously, your friends, but you have to pick someone from the show to bring along with you just for fun. Just not a work environment, but it's got to be someone on this season. It could be EJ, Nico, Baker, and it's
Captain Lee.
How about 2? You have to pick 2 people. So Captain Lee, you'd bring with you.
I'd bring Captain Lee and Kate.
He'd be the worst guest because he would be telling the captain. Captain Lee would be like, "Nope, you want to do it like this." It'd be like, "No way."
You'd be watching him dock and stuff, being like, "Wow, is this your first time doing this?" I remember my first beer.
Yes. Right.
I'd bring Captain Lee and Kate Chastain because they would be hilarious together on the boat. But if I could bring one person, probably bring Bruno. I think he'd be the most fun.
Bruno would be pretty cool. I think Bruno would get me back in shape though, because I've seen his videos and stuff on Instagram, and he works out. He eats, breathes, and sleeps working out.
That's the life, bro. That's kind of what the schedule I want to get back into.
Yeah.
Because I have to train my brother, but he's not so fond of training anymore because he wants to go out and eat candy with his friends and stuff.
Well, I'll give you a head start on what I've done so far. I've been to a few gyms around here.
On 63rd.
On 63rd, and I don't know what equipment they have in there. I've looked through the window, and people are like looking back at me like, why are you watching me work out? I'm like, no, I'm trying to look at the machines. Like, I'm snapping photos with the flash on.
Oh, you don't.
Nah, I'm just kidding.
He does. You got a pea coat on,
and I'm like Larry David. I'm like, no, it's for the machines. And they're like, there's a guy out there snapping pictures with the flash on through the glass of
Let's get back to the episode.
Okay.
Oh my god, killing me, dude.
Sometimes personal stories can be funny when they're told by other people.
By Larry David.
Yeah. So I like this guy. He brings a suitcase, and he says, I'm going to put the suitcase down in the middle of everyone, and you all can pick out what you want to wear. But you got to understand, there's probably a lot of rules against the type of things I would do. Like, if it was me, I would just... the first thing that comes to mind is, like, some kind of, like, wild party. Like, just wild, you know what I mean?
On the boat?
Like, if I'm going to drop 200 thou, that better be topless women and... like, I don't know, silly string.
Nice.
I'm just trying to think of something that wouldn't cause damage to the ship.
No, silly string is good.
Like the final
silly
answers.
String only causes damage to our ozone layer.
Oh no! I'm sorry, sir. He's cutting a green onion real small. He's giving a shout out to Adam, Chef Adam from Mediterranean.
Did you see that guy with his red and black suspenders looking like Good Charlotte?
See,
the pop rock scene.
Yeah.
So crazy.
I like how they stopped complaining, though, because...
they probably started being drunk.
Well, you drink a little bit and your inhibitions go down. I just couldn't... I don't know. I probably can change my relationship with money a little bit. But I feel like it's such a loss. I feel like I'm losing. Like, I want to feel like I'm winning. I want to feel like Donald Trump. Like, winning. There will be so much winning. You will be sick of winning when I'm president.
I'm pretty sick of winning right now.
If this is what you call winning. I heard a good one-liner last night. Donald Trump says there will be hell, scorn, and fury to be endured if North Korea screws with us. You'll be sorry you messed with the United States of America. Oh, there's fog over the demilitarized zone? Sorry, we can't do that. Peace out. I didn't do it like the comedian. He had a better delivery, but he's like, who was it? Oh, it was Stephen Colbert last night. He's like, hell hath no scorn like the United States Air Force, Navy, Marines. And then the punchline was, oh, there's fog over the DMZ. We can't go there. Peace out. We're leaving Asia. Because that happened in real life. There's fog over the North and South Korean border where the demilitarized zone is.
38th parallel.
No, close.
Okay.
I think that's Vietnam. But
no, that's Korea.
It is Korea.
Yeah, that's the 38th parallel.
Is it really?
It's the demilitarized zone, but
why did I think the 38th parallel was Vietnam?
The DMZ is in Vietnam. We kept watching that one.
Oh, okay. All right.
38th parallel is like where the two countries meet.
So as far as parties, do you think this party was better or worse than the last episode for the last charter guests?
I liked this party. Lots of lights. Everyone was in costumes.
Good moves.
For some reason, Bruno is dressed like Fabio.
Axl Rose.
Yeah, he's dressed like the guys from Scorpion, trying to rock you like a hurricane.
Yeah. Do you follow The Onion?
Not really.
There was a video that came out. I don't usually laugh out loud when I'm sitting by myself, but there's a video of where it just went bonkers. They're like, it was from Clickhole. They showed a picture of Radiohead performing, and they said there's been an incident where the lead member of Radiohead went crowd surfing, and he came back as Jackie Chan, and they had Jackie Chan singing on stage, and it says it's like this dramatic video, and like, Jackie Chan doesn't know any of Radiohead's songs, but he tries anyway, and he just smiles and waves on stage.
That's funny.
I was like, that is the funniest thing I've seen in a long time. It's complete randomness, but it's pretty funny.
That's too funny, bro. I'm kind of sad Jackie Chan's not a fan. Oh yes, my favorite part of the episode is when Captain Lee takes the two charter guests into the gauntlet.
You paid for a boat, you're getting a goddamn boat.
He puts them in the gauntlet, and he's like, well, it seemed like everyone was kind of sad about being landlocked, so let me show you guys what it looks like. And then he takes them on to like this information superhighway of the sea and gets them hit in the face with a whole lot of water spray.
Yeah.
Makes them never want to be in a boat again.
Exactly. That's like making a kid smoke a whole carton of cigarettes.
Yeah. Oh, you like cigarettes, Johnny?
Yeah, like that King of the Hill episode.
A whole pack of them.
Where Hank makes little Bobby smoke an entire carton of cigarettes to show him that it's bad.
He definitely put them through the ringer. Literally, because they're soaking wet now.
Captain Lee points behind him, and do you see how big the waves are behind the engine when we're cruising? That is what would have caused a lot of damage to the yacht. They come back like drenched rats.
And they come back with tales of the unknown. They're like, you guys think these waves are okay? Once you get past them, like 19-foot waves.
Captain Lee is like exaggerating slightly. Captain Lee's like, well, I'm just anticipating the arrival of my wife, Lillian. She gets here, it all changes. So they want chai teas, and they're showing the passage of time here. Jen is supposed to make some hot chais and some iced chais.
And 30 minutes.
According to the caption, it takes her like 30 minutes, yeah.
What the hell, dude? How is it going to take you? And you know what? I understand. It takes like 5 minutes to boil water.
Yeah.
It takes like 2 minutes to steep some tea.
Yeah, and you can't bring half the people's stuff first, right? You have to bring it all together.
I guess if you're...
I don't know.
If you're a wimp.
I'm asking you. Oh.
No, they're only drinks. You can... And they're all complicated drink orders. Just bring them out as you're finished with them or whatever. Like.
Chai, light whip... Or no, I'm sorry. That didn't make sense.
You make the first drink, and then you take a day and a half to make the second and third drink.
Yeah.
And you bring them all out together. Then... Your first drink's going to be cold if it's hot, or it's going to be watery if it's iced.
I will say it's good that everyone's on board with chais, though, because it would suck. I don't think there's a little bit of coffees, a little bit of chais. At least it looks like 3 or 4 of the drinks are chais, and there's like only one person that had to do an iced tea just to throw a wrench in the fire. What is it called? What's that expression? To throw a wrench? Throw a wrench in the party? Throw a wrench in the
cog, dude.
In the cog. What the hell's a cog?
Cog's like gears.
Okay. I think you're right now. Okay. Now that you know what that is. A wrench in the cauldron. We just watched this. How do we not remember? Captain Lee's like, I just want them to be happy, so does anybody have any ideas on how we could knock this party out of the water?
Yeah.
And who came up with it?
Nico's reading the... What? Your Venetian Arts book?
Venetian Arts Handbook?
Yeah.
It works.
It works.
Yeah. Well, she hasn't texted me back yet. No. We were texting last night. I got her to talk to me on the phone for a while.
Who?
My girl broke up with me because she thought I would cheat on her because I was going to college. And it was Daytona Beach, and she didn't realize that this was a college that was 90% men because it's an airline pilot school.
Oh my goodness.
And engineering and science, anything involving aeronautics, airplane shit. So we broke up, and she had admitted that she was still stalking my profile after, and she kept going and going. And I had a profile checker too, where I could see who was viewing my profile, and she was number one. It was kind of like a program you can use. Facebook got rid of it because anytime you can do something like that, there's always a downside. Anybody that knows how to program a program like that also knows how to sneak in and see other stuff that you're doing. So it was accurate, and I saw friends and family, and I was like, cool, I got some family members that like me, and I was like, Gwen, why did you check my profile 143 times last month? And she's like, because we worked together. We worked together before. I just want to see how you're doing.
143 times?
In 1 month. I was like, wow. And I hadn't really posted that much. Now I'm posting every once in a while, but I hadn't posted at that time. We were at that helicopter. Unless there's 2 helicopters in
St. Martin helicopter
and
crash?
See that dock thing? Yeah,
I do remember. Is that the same helicopter crash from Black Hawk Down?
Yeah, dude. The wind was blowing so hard that day that it went from Iraq all the way to fucking Caribbean.
St. Martin? That's what I'm thinking. Or is that the one from Bin Laden? You know they crashed the helicopter.
But what do you think about Bin Laden? Do you think there's 2 options? We could have killed him on the spot or brought him back. Do you think we should have brought him back?
I have no idea, bro.
My opinion is death is a relief. He will never have to own up for what he did on 9/11. Whatever role he played, even if he wasn't the chief mastermind, whatever role he played, he'll never have to deal with. I mean, well, if you don't believe in the afterlife.
That's right, bro.
Back to the episode. Sorry, man. So EJ's like, got something to tell you. The boat rolled in, and Baker's like, gotcha. Boat rolled in, I know that. And EJ's like, I'm out of here. She's like, oh!
Right after these charter guests leave, I'm leaving right with them, Baker.
He's like, it's all right. I got my RV. Traveled North Kakalaki in the woods, find my favorite spot, set up a bonfire, put a stool next to it.
Do a witch's ritual, summon you.
Something happened between Baker and that guy because Baker's wearing that guy's hater blockers. Or are those called blinders? What are those sunglasses called?
Stunner shades.
Made very popular by Soulja Boy.
Yeah.
In the year 2006.
Oh, what a year that was.
Well, we're feeling it again because they brought it back. One thing I want to say before I forget is I hope we get some Patreon subscribers. If you guys like us, you enjoy us, there's obviously some people that like us, that listen to us. If you like us enough, support us. You're in complete control on Patreon. I've patronized other people on there. I know what it looks like. You have complete control. You can say when your money flows out. You like what we're dropping. We don't charge. Please become a Patreon. We really appreciate it. And when you become a Patreon, you'll hear our bonus episode. Mo and I discuss our sexual fantasy. Mo wants to wear a latex suit and walk around Michigan Avenue and have people rub on his rubber suit. So they're coming back. Why were they gone? Where were they at? Why'd they go on the boat?
Fucking beach thing, you jerk.
There was a beach thing? I don't remember a beach thing. Are you fucking kidding? There was no beach thing. No, that was a beach. Okay. That was a long time. I should, So, I remember some good times in St. Martin. I took my underwater camera, and we were clowning around, and my friend submerged through the helicopter under the water. I don't know if it's the helicopter you see here, or if there's more than one helicopter they dropped into the ocean, but it's kind of cool. Brought back some good memories from 2015. Ooh!
There was a Republican in the White House.
Yeah, I never would have guessed. If you had told me Donald Trump would have been president, I'd be like, that's a joke. America's not that stupid. America is smarter than that. America, I don't know. I don't know. There's probably people you know, too, that have voted for Trump that you love and respect, but
I voted for Donald Trump.
Yeah, you did. I like to start conversations. So I've asked family members, I was like, so why do you vote for Trump? And they're like, well, you know, he loves America. Well, you know, he's patriotic. As a businessman, how else do you become popular than going bankrupt 54 times?
That's what I heard.
That's what I always say.
I would have voted for that one guy, Robin Williams.
Yeah.
The Green Party.
Robin Williams?
I don't know his name.
So we could have a dead president?
Oh.
What if we should have a girl on this podcast to bring some sass to it, and we should get into arguments. Look at this shot of Bruno's head here. Like, he's talking, and it's right over his head. It's like an interesting... I bet I could just see Nadine, like, that's perfect. Let's keep it on, because this is a shot you never see on any show. It's the shot of Bruno's bird nest on his head, talking to Matt, and Matt's looking right at him. So it's kind of interesting. You're getting like this behind-the-scenes kind of a view here. Baker and EJ are cozying up together on the tender, and EJ's imagining Venice Beach as he sucks down a beer.
Yep, the last few days together in love.
I love how Kate says, no, sit down. You guys are enjoying your last few hours together. And then Baker gulps. Oh. This was the only thing that made it interesting.
They gave Baker a nice storyline. They're like,
yeah.
Hey, you're dating EJ now. She's like, well, all right then.
That was totally Simpsons-esque, what you just said there. It's like something like the agent. There's an agent on The Simpsons. Like, it's like, you'll be doing this now. You'll be doing this now. I'm talking like late 90s Simpsons.
Yeah.
You'll be smoking cigarettes now. The one, I know which one it is. It's the one where they make fun of boy bands. And they're making fun of NSYNC and 98 Degrees, and they're like, "You'll be the cool one."
You're the sad one.
Yeah.
Why do we need a sad one? Like, I mean, Baker was an absolute joy to watch on the show.
Yeah.
Very happy, very uplifting.
Her vivacious spirit brought me.
Yeah, definitely.
She brought my enjoyment levels up.
She made the last episode for me with the charter with the young folks.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed her take on the situation. I thought this episode was kind of hard to get through.
Why is that?
It was just more of Jen. Every time Jen comes up, I just like, it sucks all the energy out of the episode. It's like, Jen, you're wrong and you're arguing about it. Like,
exactly.
You are not doing your work and you're complaining.
And she has successfully manipulated Kate because Kate won't do her job. And we heard recently Kate say that Jen is a pill. She's hard to deal with. But I'm happy when her little tantrums are over. So that means Kate most likely has to retard her anger for Jen.
Because if she didn't, she'd probably set Jen on fire.
I am absolutely positive that if this was unprovoked by the producers of the show, fricking Kate would have backhanded Jen back to where she came from. So they have this Hawaiian party coming together, and Baker's running around. She's the most productive member of the party planning committee. She's always got leis in her hands, and she's moving things. She's putting those Hawaiian skirts under the cushions here. And then we see Bruno. His rage comes out that he's been bottling up this whole time. He's like, why? Why did they do so bad the party?
5 hours. The ship has been empty for 4 hours, and nothing has happened. Bruno's like a samurai ninja wisdom man now.
Yeah.
No, but in all reality, isn't that what actually happened? Like, the ship was empty because the
people
charter guests were on the island doing their undersea adventure.
Yeah.
And what the heck was the whole crew doing?
Yeah.
But in reality, like, the whole crew was flipping the boat because that's what they have to do when the charter guests leave.
Right.
Is clean all their rooms.
Oh, yeah.
Do the laundry, do the dishes, get dinner ready.
You'd have to been there to see who was wrong, if Brianna was wrong or Jen was wrong, because we saw Brianna and it looks like she was pretty diplomatic about it when she said, hey, could you please come up here and help? But then again, playing devil's advocate here, what if Jen had been working 19 hours, as she stated? What if she was slacking? Or what if she wasn't slacking?
Like, the charter guests were on the boat the entire time, so I'm sure the boat did need a lot of work. Because that's all they've been doing is being on the boat. So I'm sure there was a lot of work to do, 19 hours worth of it. So I understand.
So you're taking the side of Jen?
No, I'm trying to suppose that there was enough work to do to whereas the dinner party wasn't actually organized at the end of the day.
Gotcha.
But I mean, there's a lot to do when it comes to table setting, especially when they want to do a theme. That means you have to do a backdrop and all this stuff, and it's also a buffet, so you have to. So there was a lot of work to do, and the crew just wasn't up for it. The crew was not up for a big endeavor like a theme party at the end of the night. But hey, at the end of the day, they pulled it all together. The guests seemed happy. No one really seemed bothered by quote unquote lack of effort or whatever it may have been.
Great way to describe it.
Yeah, everyone had a good time. So at the end of the episode, wrapped it up nicely for me. Bruno kind of got his just desserts, where he understood that there is a lot that goes into the boat than meets the eye. Sure. He may have thought that more should have been done, but he came to find out that plenty was done.
Yeah, he was nervous for no reason.
Yeah, there you go. But what it shows is that Bruno has a passion for the industry.
He cares.
That he does want to see his boat and his crew perform, and do well and what have you. So what makes me happy is that we may actually see Bruno coming back for more seasons because...
Good prediction, yeah.
He's a kind of a pleasure to have on the boat.
Bruno, I've taken a shine to, too. He just seems like he wants to be there, and the whining has gone down a whole bunch. This is more concern. At first it was whining, complaining about the knots and how long he had to work and helping Kate and all that. But now I think Bruno's coming along and he's going to become a productive member of the ship. And maybe one day Bruno will become a captain.
I would love to see that. Captain Brew Brew.
Captain Brew Brew.
Kate says, Bruno, you know what? Do you have any suggestions for how you think this night should go? And he's like, I'm excited for cake. Like his cake. She's like, well, you have anything to say about how the entire night should have went? And he goes, well, the boat looks like shit. And she's like, well, go tell that to the captain. And he goes into the captain's deck, and Captain Lee is dressed like King Kamehameha.
Come get laid now.
Bruno walks into the wheelhouse, and there's hula dancers dancing, and Captain Lee is dressed up like some sort of Hawaiian god.
Okay.
King Kamehameha was the first king of Hawaii. And they have a great party after. Captain Lee comes down, presents the hula dancers, presents the birthday boy.
Oh, yeah.
And just gives them the captain's blessings, which everybody knows is the strongest
blessing that you can get.
The strongest blessing to be cast on the boat.
Can you say what you said about the pineapple earlier?
Oh, when we were watching, I loved Captain Lee's staff so much because it had a pineapple at the top. So when he was doing his announcement, I was so enthralled. I'm like, I wish he would stomp his staff and the pineapple on top of his staff would split in half, and it's actually a bottle of champagne.
Nice.
Or a bottle of Patron or something.
Yeah.
He just pours everybody in some Patron from his staff.
Bloop, 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 bloop. Party tricks? You're a captain and you do party tricks?
Oh, yeah. If that would have happened, they would have definitely gotten away with like $23,000 in tips or whatever.
Oh, yeah. We never found out how much they got tipped. I never thought about that.
It's going to be a rough tip, bro. I hope they get like $14,000, $15,000.
Yeah. It's hard to drop money on the people that didn't perform.
Yeah, they didn't have, and they didn't get to leave, so they're like very critical.
There might have been a discount, too. I mean, I keep thinking like if there has to be a 20 or 30% discount right off the bat.
For not leaving the dock.
For not leaving the dock. And you're like held prisoner because you're stuck in this damn thing.
Yeah, you wanted to sail, but you don't get to sail. So it's a sea hotel.
Yeah.
It's a dock hotel. A tough trip, tough charter, but it wrapped itself up nicely. They have one more day left until these guys leave, and with them EJ. EJ leaves the crew after this charter. And
EJ. Go EJ.
You know what I realize now is that the crew is going to be short-handed.
Oh yeah. But the good news is charter season is wrapping up. I don't know if they can do this year-round, but they keep talking about a season. So the season has to end.
Yeah, most definitely. But that means they're going to be short one deckhand. They're going to have no bosun, one main deckhand, one and two deckhands in Baker and Bruno.
It's going to be called Below Deck, Captain Lee's Chinese Fire Drill.
Below Deck, Captain Lee's one-handed massages.
Below Deck, everything's fucked up. Below Deck, I think that's Ben.
All right, next episode predictions go.
Next episode, we will have EJ departing. Baker's going to be really sad, and the captain's going to be really sad. Don't think anyone else really took to EJ quite so much.
First, I want you to tell the audience who you believe is going to board the boat.
Oh, I think that's going to be Ben. That looks like Ben's legs running around.
Now, here's what. I don't think it's going to be Ben.
Okay.
Because Ben's legs are not that muscular.
Okay. You might be right.
No. Here's the actual reason.
Why is that?
They need a deckhand.
Yeah, they do.
So that's why I think whoever's going to be boarding the boat is going to be a deckhand.
I hope it's one from the first couple seasons, because I really took to all those people in the first two seasons. And the first season was tough, too, because they didn't know the show was going to be a hit. They didn't know that people would tune into this stuff. They've got more likes for the Below Deck page now in this season than they ever had ever. They've got it so that Bravo's repeating it after they display the episode, and they're having Saturdays be Below Deck marathon days.
Oh my goodness!
Have you seen that before?
I did see that.
Okay, yeah.
That's awesome, dude.
So a lot of people are getting hooked in, and it stayed at 140,000 people, which is really low for a internationally syndicated cable channel. You can pick it up in different countries. So 140,000. So now they're at just over 160,000, and they're pumping out the likes. I'm like, good. Finally, the show took on.
Awesome. It's crazy that this was the season to do it, since it was a season like full of blunders and mistakes and stuff like that.
Captain Lee's House of Clowns. They just didn't know what the hell they were doing.
Yeah.
I just don't know anyone who is not inept at their job in some form or fashion, other than the captain. Even the captain crashed into the fucking dock.
Jesus.
Like, he can't blame anybody else for that. That's his vision.
Yeah, it was a tough boat season, but the one with the most Facebook likes, so go figure. So who do you think is going to board now that I gave you the clue that it may be a deckhand?
Right. Yeah,
give us a name.
Legs were flopping around. So
give us 3 guesses.
3 guesses. Let's see if I could nail that. It could be Dave. I need to watch some seasons now. And they're acting like it's somebody we should know, too. So
look who it is.
It's...
Drum roll, please.
They brought Trevor back. No.
Would they really? No, I don't think.
No.
Not right. They wouldn't bring somebody that they fired back.
Especially for veterans. Our Veterans Day episode. Here's a guy who talks shit about the military. He's back. Okay. So different seeing a large table, because it's like, oh, damn, that's a big boat. Because I'm in below deck mode now. How did they fit that on the yacht? I don't know.
Oh, it's a mansion.
Yeah.
Oh, this is Real Estate Wars.
And Amir's got 30 of those, they said.
Yeah.
That he's running. That he's in charge of now. He gets to say, speak on behalf of.
Yeah, he's got to sell $1 billion worth of houses.
Or his dad will disown him. He won't be the prince of
Babaland of bad prices.
Go forth to America with this oil money. You must sell 30 of the 30 houses. If you do not sell 30, you'll be disowned immediately.
You guys don't know what we're talking about. We're talking about Real Estate Wars.
We're watching Real Estate Wars. It was next on the playlist. I actually do like the show a lot more than the first episode. They kind of cleaned it up a little bit, and the pacing is good. This was an interesting part right here. He's like, I'll go work the Asians here. I'm part Oriental, so I'll go work the Asians here. I was like, wow, dude, that's fucking. I guess you have the license to say that. You're part Asian.
You're half Polynesian.
Yeah.
You're part Polynesian.
He's 164th Oriental, and he gets to make Oriental jokes. Because other real estate agents can't talk like that. I couldn't be like, I'm going to go help the Asians out today.
Oh, my God. I'm going to go to Asian Town. First, I'm going to have some shrimp fried rice, and then I'm going to have...
Oh, God.
Then I'm going to help out somebody with a name that rhymes.
I love how honest they almost were on Howard Stern's show, because Howard Stern asked all the questions I was going to ask. They're like, in front of... It was Donald Trump and his 2 sons, and Donald Trump was like, you boys are waiting for your inheritance, right? And they both had this like look on their face, like, oh my God, that's why Howard Stern is a shock jock. And their faces were like white, and it's like, no, we love our dad. And Donald was sitting there, and Donald was like, just did his eyebrow thing. He's like looking at him the whole time. This interview was like in the early 2000s, and Howard Stern was hitting him, and then Howard Stern was like, Donald, where do you get your wives? Do you pull them out of a catalog? Do you order them? Do they come in bubble wrap?
Donald Trump was probably like, yeah, Howard, it's called Playboy.
I want that one.
I just open it up, and whichever one I like, I just get it right out.
Yeah. Howard Stern was making the joke before anybody ever did. He was just saying that Donald Trump always picks a new, younger wife. That's like the running joke on every single late night, is that when he gets tired of one wife, he just picks a new one that's younger.
So funny to see people go on Howard Stern and act shocked.
Yeah. I loved it, though, because they're like, no, we love our dad. And Donald Trump was like, he said something funny. He's like, really? So, I don't know, it was just stupid.
Did you guys just say you love me? And they're like, yeah, Dad, well, we never get the chance to tell you, but And they have like this heartwarming family moment on Howard Stern and stuff. Everyone starts crying, including Stern.
Yeah. Stern can never cry. I don't think there's anything that would turn him.
Hey, if he brings a family together.
Yeah.
If that actually would have happened, I think we would be in a different world right now. If Howard Stern brought Donald Trump and his children to tears on live radio, they would get their shit together.
Donald Trump is the best Democrat ever. He went in as a Republican just to bring the establishment down. They're fighting with each other. There's never been so much turmoil in the Republican Party.
That's what I asked for.
But I guess he can't be a Democrat in Republicans' clothing because the laws that he's enacting, the EPA shit going out the window. That's all Republican shit. That's all stuff that only Republicans
love
would
that
do.
Shit, bro. Fuck the environment.
They said a prayer before they went in the coal mine, and the video on Facebook was of all the coal miners holding hands and praying that they don't die that day. And I'm like, wow, coal mining's awesome. I want to get in that profession.
All right, and with that, we leave you guys. Thanks so much for tuning in to episode 18 of Loungtastic Podcast. Had a lot of fun today talking about all types of manners of business. And we'll see you guys next time.
We really love the support and love our fans give us. If you have a minute, check us out on iTunes and leave a review. And if you don't want to do that, maybe next time you're talking to your friends about a similar subject, you could mention that you had fun tuning into the Loungtastic Podcast, and we could get a fun interactive community going on. Spreading the word really helps us grow, and it means the world to us. Check us out on Instagram and Twitter. At Instagram, we're at Loungtastic. On Twitter, we're at Loungtastic.